In this course, we are going to jump in, create our first workflow, and go through the UI elements. We're going to go and see the main components, which is the canvas, nodes, the top bar, and we're also going to go and see the executions panel, how to navigate that. And after that, I'll show you how to see the history of the workflows that we have created, how does the version control work, or how to roll back to the previous versions as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. So once you log in to your n8n cloud instance, this is what you see. You'll see 14 days trial is remaining because we just signed up. This is the n8n logo. We are not going to do anything over here. Over here, you can create workflows, credentials, projects. We'll go through it shortly. The first thing is the overviews page. How many production executions happened in the last 7 days? How many failed? The rate of failure, and a bunch of stuff. This was added recently and it gives you a very good overview. Next tab is personal. So before that, let's go to projects. Projects is you can add a project. We are going to say, let's add a project n8n course level 1. All right. So I'm going to copy paste the same thing. Add users. So users, we do not, right now we do have a 14-day trial, so I can add more users. You can too, but once you go, depending on the plan you have, you may or may not be able to add users. You need to have like a starter or an enterprise plan for that. It's written over here. If you go to the documentation, and it will show you over here somewhere. Left side panel, where is the share? You can share and collaborate with others. Starter, Pro, and Enterprise plan. So whenever you have questions, I don't remember everything, but you can always go and check it out over here. All right, save. Your project is saved, which you see over here, and this is the project. So you can have multiple projects that you're working on. It's just to structure it. You also can create folders. We'll see how to do that later on. And you have your personal folder as well. So if you are working with few people, there will be projects shared with everybody, and this will be a personal folder that is not shared with anybody. It's your own personal account. So we have the admin panel. Let's go to the admin panel. On the admin panel, on the dashboard, you'll see your name and the instance. We are not going to go over there right now. It's not a part of this. And visit the forums. If you click over here, it's going to take you to the same place which we signed up earlier. So we have already done that part. We don't need to go over there. I'm going to keep it open just on this side. All right, so that's the admin panel. Let's go back. Templates. Once you're familiar with this tool and you want to use pre-built templates that the community members have created, and you can create your own, you can come over here and literally search for anything. For example, if you want like something on Gmail, automation, and you click on it and you'll see a bunch of people have created a bunch of workflows and you can use that. It's pretty simple. You can just click on any workflow that you want. You can try it out. That will be used for free. You can see the workflow. This is how the workflows look. And they're pretty complex right now. So we're not going to go into that. I don't want to overwhelm you. I just wanted to show it to you where it is. So I'll keep going back. Those were the templates. Variables. We're going to create variables as we create workflows, so don't worry about it. But this is where your variable, you can see a list of all your variables in here. Insights, again, it's a little bit detailed version of the overview over here. When we have more success and fails, will come over. It's kind of a monitoring for your workflows, and this will keep getting filled as we do more work in here. If you need help, this help section is good. A quick start. My friend Max. I'm Max. So yeah, I met with Max in Berlin. He's also coming here in August. So very, very stoked to meet him. I'm going to close this out. He will teach you, he will also give you a very good tutorial, much better than mine, how to build your first workflow. But we are not building just workflows, we are trying to get a certification today. So let's get back. Documentation is your go-to source, everything that you need, and whenever you have questions, this is your single source of truth. So this is the documentations page. You can search anything in over there. You can go over here. There are courses, report a bug if you see a bug, and about n8n. This will show you what version you guys are on. We are on the latest version because we signed up for the cloud account, and it's coming from this GitHub repo, and we have a license. So let's close this out and go to what's next, what's new. If you go to what's new, you'll see the pricing. They released new pricing, so all the updates will be over here, and chat streaming, bunch of stuff over here, agent AI tool node. These are all the new features that they have introduced in the recent days, and they highlighted over here. This is our settings. If you go to the settings, you can change your name and stuff. You can see your email, and you can enable two-factor authentication, just like an Google Authenticator or some kind of MFA. You can do that. And right now I have a system theme over here. So that's about it for this page. All right, next what we're going to do is we're going to create our own workflow. You can go back to overview. You can click this button and create a workflow in the personal, or I can just create a workflow over here. It really doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It will take you to the same canvas. Now let's see, this left section has not changed at all, but if you see over here, let's start at the top bar. This is the personal section that we are creating a workflow in. In here, this is the workflow. So I'm going to name it n8n course level 1. That's it. Now these are the tags. If you want, you can put tags. These are additional metadata you want to put on there. I am going to create a tag called as n8n level 1 course. You can name it whatever you want. It really doesn't matter. So now this has been applied. You can manage the tags. You can delete. You can add more tags to it if you want, so that you can you can have more. What do you say? When you have to filter it out, you can use multiple tags to filter them out. Now let's come to the editor. This is your canvas. We'll come to it. Here you can see our executions and evaluations. We'll get to there when we get to the canvas, but let's see over here inactive. So this workflow, the way n8n works is it's whenever you're developing something, it's in your development phase, it's inactive and it's not running continuously, or it's not looking for events. So right now everybody does development in an inactive state. Once we put this to an active state, that's when the workflow is live, like in production. So we will do that. However, for now, as there is no workflow, we cannot toggle this. You see there is a cross in there. Once we have a valid workflow, then we can toggle this. Sharing is again the same thing. If you have a starter, pro, or enterprise plan, you can share it with somebody. And if you make any changes over here, the saved button will be activated. So for example, if I create a note over here, then I can save it and then I can delete it again. So as soon as you make any changes, this goes from saved to save, and it just shows that you have made some changes. And if you see the tooltip, it says Control S. So I can use Control S as well. Workflow history, it's all the changes that we have made. This way you can go back. There was nothing. I made 2 changes. Okay, this is where we added the sticky note. So this is where we added the sticky note. I pressed a bunch of times save. I don't know why there are so many versions honestly, but there should be only 2. So this is the node, and if you go back over here, we deleted the node and saved it again. So this is how you can put the version. You can see the versions, and if you want to let's say you deleted this thing by mistake and you want to go back to this version, so I can just click restore this version. I can make a new workflow, clone a new workflow out of this, so you'll have 2 workflows. Then open this version in a new tab. I can do that as well, or download it and save it as a JSON file. Right now, or let's just do the restore version. It's going to ask you to restore. Voila, you got this back. Now, once you close this, you got the node back in your canvas. That's how the versions work. the last thing. In this menu, you can duplicate this, you can download, you can change the owner if you are multiple owners. You can rename this workflow. For example, I can rename this over here, n8n level 1 course, just to match our tag. You don't have to match the tags, I'm just showing you how to do that. Import from a URL. If you have a workflow at a different URL, you can just import it, or you can import it from a file. If you have a workflow which is on your hard drive or anywhere, you can do that. Settings, these settings are different than the settings that we saw. Those were the global settings. These are your workflow settings. Execution order is how are you going to execute the workflow. We'll go into this error workflows. This is advanced stuff, but very much needed for a productionized workflow if you're giving it to some enterprise or some client and who can call this workflow. There you can see this. The most important thing I want to point out over here is setting your time zone properly. Just make sure that time zone is proper, because you might want to execute a workflow at 9 a.m. EST. However, if the servers you're using in Germany, it's not going to trigger. There's a huge time difference and you'll not get the desired results. So just this, I think this is very important over here. You need to think about it. And that's it. I'll just leave it for now over here. You'll get a notification workflow saved. This will take you to the Git repository and you'll see it's an open source code that you can see. I don't know much about the open source and modification of this, so I usually do not touch it. Let's go back. Next, let's go back to our course. The next place is Canvas. You can read it or I'll show it to you. Let's go back. This is our canvas. I'm going to put it on. I'm going to delete this just to show you a few things over here. This is the canvas. This is the place where you're going to create the workflows. All right. And you need to know how to navigate this canvas properly, because you're going to work here 90% of the time. All right. So first tab is editor. This is where you're going to create. How to navigate it. You can press the space bar and drag it wherever you want, because once you have a lot of nodes, you'll need to do this. You can zoom in. What I'm doing right now is clicking on command or space and then using my scroll wheel on my mouse. So that's one way of doing that. If you don't have a mouse with the scroll wheel, you can do this. This is zoom to fit. So let's say assume I did this, and if you want to zoom everything and fit it in once, I can press 1, or I can hit this button 1, or zoom to fit. Both of them does the same thing. If you want to zoom, click this button, it will zoom out 1 here. If I want to move it, press space and you can grab it and drag it. That's how. And let's assume that you have few things. I'll show you how to tidy this up. This will just center it to when you have a lot of nodes, so it will fit everything nicely. Even if they're like, moving all around the place, it will put it very neat and nice in one sequence. And on the right hand side, before we go to the right hand side, what is this plus button? This is how you start or add nodes. Nodes are nothing but the actions you can take in a workflow. And what is a workflow? Workflow is nothing but a sequence of actions that you perform from start to end. It runs from left to right, and every node will get executed from left to right. You'll see it over here. So you can add a node over here. Once you click this button, you should see these triggers. The first thing that we need to add is a trigger, and there are a bunch of triggers, different ways of triggers. We'll get into that, but this is one way of adding. Second way is I can click a button over here, and if you see, if I hover, it says tab. So if I press tab, I will see the same menu popping in. So there are 3 ways of creating nodes. The second one is node. This is just what we created a while back. You can click, double click. I'm a node, my first node, first workflow. Yay. And you can give it subtitles or whatever. It uses Markdown. And Markdown, if you don't know, it's just a Markdown format. You can ask Google or anybody, Markdown language. It's not a language as such, but it's just to highlight. So if you see, you can use headings. You can use italics. So if I use this thing, right, let's copy paste and go back to our course. I'm going to say italic Sandeep. So if you see, that's how it got italic Sandeep. So if you want to do this Sandeep as italic, now I just need to put star at the end, star. There you go, Sandeep is italic. So you can create your sticky notes the way you want. You can follow this page and you can format it the way you want for more readability. So last one, this is the same thing. Node parameters will be shown over here. I don't use it that much. And the last part is ask an AI assistant. So you can ask a bunch of questions. It's the chatbot. It will take you to the relevant material, or it can also help you. I use cloud and a self-hosted version, so you do not get this functionality in the self-hosted version. So if you need something, this is one of the things that you need, then go to the cloud version. Next thing is the nodes. So there are different types of nodes: action nodes, trigger nodes, core nodes, cluster nodes. We'll go through it, so don't get overwhelmed. Let's add one node, your first node. So the way we know, we can use tab. As you notice, the plus symbol is gone because we have added something over here. So the plus symbol is over here now, or you can use tab. Let's add some kind of trigger. We are going to trigger it manually. So now you have added a first node. This is the trigger node. Now if you come over here, you don't see the same menu. Now these are the action nodes, and depending upon the action that you want to take, you will choose the node. You can add another trigger node over here and you'll go back to the previous screen that we saw. However, we need some kind of action nodes. So this is your AI agent node. If you click it over here, we are not doing that right now, but this is your AI agent node and it flows from left to right. Right now I'm going to delete this and we're just going to keep this for now. How do you execute your workflow? It's very simple. You can press execute workflow, it will execute, or if you want to just execute this node, you'll execute. So if you hover on this node, what you'll see are three icons. This is the play symbol, which is execute this step, and this is execute the workflow. There's a difference. Execute workflow will execute everything, each and every node from start to end, and execute node will just execute this one. Right now this node is active, so if I click this, it will become inactive. So you see deactivated and activated. So when a node is deactivated, it will not work. So it needs to be active. If you delete it, it will be gone. Control Z, it's back. If you want to add more nodes, you can add with the plus symbol. This plus symbol acts exactly same as this plus symbol. And the last three dots, if you click, there are a bunch of sub options as like execute this step. You can rename it to whatever you want. Deactivate the same thing. Tidy up the workflow the same over here. And rest of the sections will go as soon as when we get over there. So the next thing that we note. So we went through the trigger nodes. We went through the action nodes. Action nodes are nothing but actions if you want to do something, and the core nodes and the cluster nodes. So let's go. I'm going to create. I showed you the AI agent node. That's one of the nodes. The core nodes, if you go, these are the core nodes, like the code node. We are going to use the code node. We are going to use the HTTP request. We will see this in this chapter. And cluster of nodes is nothing but bunch of the nodes working together in a cluster. Is called as a cluster of nodes. Next, finding nodes. What type of node we want to find? Adding it. We saw how to add it, and the node buttons. All three buttons. We saw that. The last thing which we need to see is how to find anything you want to find, like Airtable. You just put it and you'll see a bunch of nodes. You click that node, you'll get a bunch of actions, and I want to get a route, for example. So you'll just press it and you'll get that node. So the difference between why it is not connected. Now let me show you that. If you click this and then I search for Airtable, then I choose one action, this thing will be connected, right? It's not valid because we need to give it the credentials and everything. However, if I'm not selected this, and if I'm just clicking this in Airtable, now this will be not connected. So those are the only two subtle differences, but it's the same node regardless. So that's how you find the nodes. Next thing, let's go back. We are at the end of this chapter. So thank you so much. I'll see you in the next chapter, which is building a mini workflow.